शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां विदये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्वजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே जगदः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्री पार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि अर्थान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും ഇറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ട തോറു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Welcome back everyone. Good morning. Okay, so we'll directly jump into 97 and then we have to finish 97 and 98 as well. So I think we have to start from stanza 8 of 97. Okay, Ritiji can be a student and Gayatri can be. So stanza 8.
Ji, I will be listening more, Ji, because...
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
If Bhuvana joins and she... Okay. Hey, Bhuvana. Bhuvana, can you be a student, Hippo? To repeat?
Sure. இருக்கேன். Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, Ratiji, you can start and then Bhuvana. Stanza 8. दृष्ट्वा त्वां हृष्टरोमा त्वरितमुपगतः स्प्रष्टुकामो मुनीन्द्रः श्वासेनान्तर्निविष्टः पुनरिह सकलं दृष्टवान् विष्टपौघम् भूयोऽपि श्वासवातैर्बहिरनुपतितो वीक्षितस्त्वत्कटाक्षैः मोदात् आश्लेष्टुकामस्त्वयि पिहिततनौ स्वाश्रमे प्राग्वधासीत्. We already saw the meaning of this. This is where Markandeya ends up going inside when the breath in of the baby is happening. He goes in, comes out, he sees everything, and eventually is back in Swa Ashrame. He sees that he's back in his ashramam. Drishtva Tvam Hrishta Roma Twaritam Upagatah, comma, Sprashtu Kamo Munindraha, comma, Shwasenantar Nibishtaha, comma, पुनरिह सकलं दृष्टवान् विष्टपौघम् दृष्ट्वा त्वां हृष्टरोमा त्वरितमुपगतः स्प्रष्टुकामो मुनीन्द्रः श्वासेनान्तर्निविष्टः पुनरिह सकलं दृष्टवान् विष्टपौघम्
दृष्ट्वा त्वां हृष्टरोमा त्वरितमुपगतः स्प्रष्टुकामो मुनीन्द्रः श्वासेनान्तर्निविष्टः पुनरिह सकलं दृष्टवान् विष्टपौघम् दृष्ट्वा त्वां हृष्टरोमा त्वरितमुपगतः स्प्रष्टुकामो मुनीन्द्रः श्वासेनान्तर्निविष्टः पुनरिह सकलं दृष्टवान् विष्टपौघम्
दृष्ट्वा त्वां हृष्टरोमा त्वरितमुपगतः स्प्रष्टुकामो मुनीन्द्रः श्वासेनान्तर्निविष्टः पुनरिह सकलं दृष्टवान् विष्टपौघम् दृष्ट्वा त्वां हृष्टरोमा त्वरितमुपगतः स्प्रष्टुकामो मुनीन्द्रः श्वासेनान्तर्निविष्टः पुनरिह सकलं दृष्टवान् विष्टपौघम्
भूयोऽपि बहिरनुपतितो कॉमा वीक्षितस्त्वत् कटाक्षैः. So put a visarga and comma there. Katakshahi. Next line on top of modat, if there's a ir that you have it, that will go away. Modat ashleshtu kamas tvayi pihita tanau swashrame pragvadasid. That line is continuous. भूयोऽपि श्वासवातैर्बहिरनुपतितो वीक्षितस्त्वत्कटाक्षैः मोदात् आश्लेष्टुकामस्त्वयि पिहिततनौ स्वाश्रमे प्राग्वधासीत्.
भूयोऽपि श्वासवातेर्बहिरनुपतितो वीक्षितस्त्वत्कटाक्षैः मोदादाश्लेष्टुकामस्त्वयि पिहिततनौ स्वाश्रमे प्राग्वदासीत् भूयोऽपि श्वासवातैर्बहिरनुपतितो वीक्षितस्त्वत्कटाक्षैः मोदादाश्लेष्टुकामस्त्वयि पिहिततनौ स्वाश्रमे प्राग्वदासीत्
भूयोऽपि श्वासवातैर्बहिरनुपतितो वीक्षितस्त्वत्कटाक्षैः मोदात् आश्लेष्टुकामस्त्वयि पिहिततनौ स्वाश्रमे प्राग्वदासीत्.
Even on the third line after bahir anupatito, there is a comma. Third line.
Okay, yeah, correct. भूयोऽपि श्वासवातैर्बहिरनुपतितो वीक्षितस्त्वत्कटाक्षैः मोदात् आश्लेष्टुकामस्त्वयि पिहिततनौ स्वाश्रमे प्राग्वदासीत्.
That's a line. गौर्या सार्धं तदग्रे पुरभिदत गतः त्वत्प्रिय प्रेक्षणार्थी सिद्धान् एवास्य दत्त्वा स्वयम् अयम् अजरा मृत्युतादीन् गतो भूत् एवं त्वत्सेवयैव स्मर रिपुरपि स प्रीयते येन तस्मात् मूर्तित्रयात्मकस्त्वं ननु सकलनियन्तेति सुव्यक्तमासीत्. This is where we discuss how Shiva and Parvati come and meet Markandeya, and he's in a trance. They eventually get in and wake him up, and then when they ask him what you want, of course he already has, unlimited life and everything, and that was the only wish for him was to see this Maya. So he says all you saw was just a Maya of the Lord, and none of this really actually happened, but then you experienced it as if it was so real because you wanted to experience it. And again they bless him, saying that you'll continue to live a long life without any old age or disease or anything of that sort. Gaurya sardham tadagre purabhidhata gataha, that is, you can remove, put visarga comma, gataha, tvat priya prekshanarthi, comma, siddhanevasya dattva, comma. Next word, I'm going to break it into 4 parts there. Swayam ayam ajara. Swayam ayam ajara mrityutadin gato bhut. Gaurya sardham tadagre purabhidhata gatah tvatpriya prekshanarthi siddhanevasya dattva swayam ayam ajara mrityutadin gato bhut.
गौर्या सार्धं तदग्रे पूरभिदथ गतः त्वत्प्रिय प्रेक्षणार्थी सिद्धानेवास्य दत्त्वा स्वयमयमजरा मृत्युतादीन् गतो भूत् गौर्या सार्धं तदग्रे पूरभिदथ गतः त्वत्प्रिय प्रेक्षणार्थी सिद्धानेवस्य दत्त्वा स्वयमयमजरा मृत्युतादीन् गतो भूत्.
गौर्या सार्धं तदग्रे पुरभिदतगतः त्वत्प्रियप्रेक्षणार्थी सिद्धानेवास्य दत्त्वा स्वयमयमजरा मृत्युतादीन् गतो भूत् गौर्या सार्धं तदग्रे पुरभिदतगतः त्वत्प्रियप्रेक्षणार्थी सिद्धानेवास्य दत्त्वा स्वयमयमजरा मृत्युतादीन् गतो भूत्
एवं त्वत् सेवयैव स्मर रिपुरपि स प्रीयते येन तस्मात्, put it, first tha it, next line the in will go away if you have it. Murti trayatmakas tvam nanu sakala niyanteti suvyaktam asit. एवं त्वत्सेवयैव स्मर रिपुरपि स प्रीयते येन तस्मात् मूर्तित्रयात्मकस्त्वं ननु सकलनियन्तेति सुव्यक्तमासीत्.
Rajesh, sampriyate or sapriyate?
Which word?
Smara ripurapi. My book says sampriyate.
Oh, just priyate.
Sapriyate, okay.
Yeah.
Evam totsevayaiva smara ripurapi sapriyate yena tasmata murti trayatmakastvam nanu sakalaniyanteti suvyaktamasita. Evam totsevayaiva smara ripurapi sapriyate yena tasmata Murti Trayatmakastvam Nanu Sakalaniyanteti Suvyaktamasita.
Is it Tasman or Tasmat?
And the in which is in the 4th line of in of Tasma becomes a it when you put a comma there. When you see it together, it becomes a in because of Murti coming later.
Okay.
एवं त्वत्सेवयैव स्मररिपुरपि स प्रीयते येन तस्मात् मूर्तित्रयात्मकस्त्वं ननु सकलनियन्तेति सुव्यक्तमासीत् एवं त्वत्सेवयैव स्मररिपुरपि स प्रीयते येन तस्मात् मूर्तित्रयात्मकस्त्वं ननु सकलनियन्तेति सुव्यक्तमासीत्।
Uncertain. त्र्यंशेऽस्मिन् सत्यलोके विधिहरिपुरभिन्मन्दिरान्यूर्ध्वमूर्ध्वम् तेभ्योऽप्यूर्ध्वम् तु माया विकृतिविरहितो भाति वैकुण्ठलोकः तत्र त्वम् कारणाम्भस्यपि पशुपकुले शुद्ध सत्त्वैकरूपी सच्चिद्ब्रह्मात्मयात्मा पवनपुरपते पाहि मां सर्वरोगात्. This talks about even in the Satya Loka where Brahma, Shiva, everybody resides. But remember, Satya Loka, all of that is within this Brahmandam, which has that categorization of the 14 worlds. But he says, you, Guruvarapa, who is as pure Brahman, resides in three places. One is you reside in Vaikuntham, which is beyond all of these 14 worlds, right? You reside there. Number two, where you reside is like we saw in the 14 worlds in the Brahmandam, which is there. There's the Garbhodaka ocean at the bottom, which is kind of all cosmic, unmanifested material. So you also remain there because eventually all of that, in the end of the day of Brahma, goes into that Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. So you remain there. Second place. The third place you also remain is Pashupa Kule, in the house of the Gopas and the Gopikas. Because the house of the cowherds, where you always have a place. So in these three places you reside, which is beyond all material manifestations, and you remain there as Shuddha Sattvaika Rupi. You remain there as pure consciousness bliss that is there. The non-dual Brahman, you reside there. So that Guru, please eradicate all of my ailments. Trimshesmin Satya Loke, Vidhi Hari Purabhin Mandiran Yurdhvam Urdhvam. So you cannot break that word. Mandiran Yurdhvam Urdhvam, Tebhyo Pyurdhvam tu, Maya Vikriti Virahito Bhati Vaikuntha Lokaha. Trimshesmin Satyaloke Vidhi Haripurabhin Mandiran Yurdhvam Urdhvam Tebhyo Pyurdhvam tu Maya Vikriti Virahito Bhati Vaikuntha Lokaha.
त्र्यंशेऽस्मिन् सत्यलोके विधिहरि पुरभिन् मन्दिराण्यूर्ध्वमूर्ध्वं तेभ्यो प्यूर्ध्वं तु माया विकृतिविरहितो भाति वैकुण्ठलोकः त्र्यंशेऽस्मिन् सत्यलोके विधिहरिपुरभिन् मन्दिराण्यूर्ध्वमूर्ध्वं तेभ्योऽप्यूर्ध्वं तु माया विकृतिविरहितो भाति वैकुण्ठलोकः
त्र्यंशेऽस्मिन् सत्यलोके विधिहरिपुरभिन्मन्दिराण्यूर्ध्वमूर्ध्वं तेभ्योऽप्यूर्ध्वं तु माया विकृतिविरहितो भाति वैकुण्ठलोकः.
For a second line, the Pyurdhvam tu, adukapra there's a comma in the middle.
Okay. त्र्यंशेऽस्मिन् सत्यलोके विधिहरिपुरभिन्मन्दिराण्यूर्ध्वमूर्ध्वं तेभ्योऽप्यूर्ध्वं तु माया विकृतिविरहितो भाति वैकुण्ठलोकः.
तत्र त्वं कारणाम्भस्यपि पशुपकुले, शुद्ध सत्त्वैक रूपी सच्चित् ब्रह्माद्वयात्मा, पवनपुरपते पाहि मां सर्वरोगात्. तत्र त्वं कारणाम्भस्यपि पशुपकुले शुद्ध सत्त्वैकरूपी सच्चिद्ब्रह्माद्वयात्मा पवनपुरपते पाहि मां सर्वरोगात्.
तत्र त्वं कारणाम्भस्यपि पशुपकुले शुद्धसत्त्वैकरूपी सच्चिद्ब्रह्माद्वयात्मा पवनपुरपते पाहि मां सर्वरोगात्. तत्र त्वं कारणाम्भस्यपि पशुपकुले शुद्धसत्त्वैकरूपी सच्चिद्ब्रह्माद्वयात्मा पवनपुरपते पाहि मां सर्वरोगात्.
तत्र त्वं कारणाम्भ्यस्यपि पशुपकुले शुद्धसत्त्वैकरूपी सच्चित् ब्रह्माद्वयात्मा पवनपुरपते पाहि मां सर्वरोगात् तत्र त्वं कारणाम्भ्यस्यपि पशुपकुले शुद्धसत्त्वैकरूपी सच्चित् ब्रह्माद्वयात्मा पवनपुरपते मां पवनपुरपते पाहि मां सर्वरोगात्.
Third line la karanam, you're saying byasyapi, it's only karanam bhasyapi.
Oh yeah, correct. Yeah,
Okay.
Karanam bhasyapi.
Correct. Yeah, I think you were adding an extra ya there, but yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Correct.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay, so we'll go to Dasakam 98. Very powerful Dasakam, like something you can chant like every day, you know. It's the title of that is Nishkala Brahmopasana. Nishkala Brahma Upasana, which is like meditating. Upasana is meditating on Nishkala. Nishkala is like the what do you call, not the like the form like we see as Krishna or somebody else, but it is a form of the Nirguna Brahman. So, you know, when Gajendra worshipped in Dasakam 26, he was worshipping this Nirguna Brahman, which does not have any form, does not have any shape, right? So that Brahman, so this is meditation on that Nishkala Brahman. It's got 11 stanzas, which really talks about the Brahman in each of the stanza. But of course, Bhattacharya brings it to a point saying, while the Brahman, all the definition is true, you still are Guru Arappa, you are that Brahman. So each of the stanza will come with a namaskaram at the end, saying, my salutations, my namaskarams to you, right? So it's 11 stanzas of namaskarams, right? Like, for example, for those of you who do Devi Mahatmyam, we have that's the chapter 5, which is like a stuti, you know, which happens, which is like a namaskaram thing. Similarly, this is like a namaskaram thing you can think of. Every stanza is a prayer and a namaskaram that is happening. Stanza 1. यस्मिन्नेतद्विभातं यत इदमभवत् येन छेदं ययेतत् योऽस्मादुत्तीर्णरूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा यो वाचां दूरदूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते. So very similar to the Dasakam 1 first stanza. It kind of goes and starts with the description of the Brahman, saying, you know, this Brahman is something which is unchanging. It doesn't change, right? It does not have any form, but nor does it change like we do, our body does every day. So it remains unchanging. Everything that is there has come from it. Everything exists in that, and everything eventually goes back to it. That is one of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam that Vishnu tells to Brahma is everything has come from me, everything still resides in me, everything will come back to me. So there's no change in that. That is always a constant cycle that is happening, right? And it says this Brahman, then it pervades all through the universe, but it actually is independent of the universe as well. So which means that it is there every single point in the universe. However, this is beyond the universe. Just because it is there here and it is there in some other place doesn't mean that it is actually that's all it is. It also pervades. It's beyond all of this universe as well, right? That is one. And any energy that is coming in this entire universe is coming from this Brahman. It is the source of every single illumination and energy that is happening in the universe. And it is also the energy itself, right? So it's not only the source, it is also the actual energy itself. There's no separation, right, within that. And like it said in first the Sandrananda, it says you cannot define it with thoughts or words or any of that. It's very difficult to exactly define what the Brahman is. And even, Yasya Deva Munindraha, even the greatest of sages and the Munis who have tried to describe it have not been able to describe it, right? Because it's indescribable, because it's so much beyond our material contemplation that you cannot quite exactly define it. However, Bhattacharya is saying, for me, you, O Krishna, that Brahman is you as Krishna, as Guru Ayappa, and to that Guru Ayappa, my namaskaram. So Krishna Tasmai Namaste. So he says, okay, if those people cannot understand, how about ordinary people like us? We definitely cannot understand. So I'm going to resort to worshipping you as Guru Ayappan, as the Brahman here. Yasmin netat vibhatam yata idhamabhavat. You have a de sound there. De. We're going to break it into it and a ye. So idhamabhavat, comma. Yena chedam ya yetat, another it, comma. So two places it comes, yetat, comma. Next line, the dio becomes yo. Yosmad uttirna rupaha, comma. Khalu sakalamidam bhasitam yasya bhasa. यस्मिन्नेतद्विभातं यत इदमभवत् येन चेदं ययेतत् योऽस्मादुत्तीर्णरूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा.
यस्मिन्नेतद्विभातं यत इदमभवत् येन चेदं य एतत् योऽस्मादुत्तीर्णरूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा. यस्मिन्नेतद्विभातं यत इदमभवत् येन चेदं न एतत् येन चेदं य एतत् योऽस्मादुत्तीर्णरूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा.
यस्मिन्नेतद्विभातं यद इदमभवत् येन चेदं ययेतद् योऽस्मादुत्तीर्णरूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा. यस्मिन्नेतद्विभातं यत इदमभवत् येन चेदं ययेतत् योऽस्मादुत्तीर्णरूपः खलु सकलमिदं भासितं यस्य भासा.
यो वाचां दूरदूरे, comma, पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः, comma, नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे, comma, कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते. यो वाचां दूरदूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
यो वाचां दूरदूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते. यो वाचां दूरदूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
यो वाचां दूरदूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते. यो वाचां दूरदूरे पुनरपि मनसां यस्य देवा मुनीन्द्राः नो विद्युस्तत्त्वरूपं किमु पुनरपरे कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
Answer 2. जन्मातो कर्म नाम स्फुटमिह गुणदोषादिकं वा न यस्मिन् लोकानाम् ऊतये यः स्वयमनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी बिभ्रच्छक्तिररूपोऽपि च बहुतररूपोऽवभात्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररसपरिपूर्णाय विष्णो नमस्ते. Saying for you, there's no concept of birth like we have a birth and then we have a death. He says no concept of birth or death for the Brahman. There is no action the Brahman needs to take. The Brahman does not have a name like each of us have. It doesn't have any attributes like we have. We will have a short, tall, fat, thin, or different colors. So the Brahman does not have any such attributes because all of these attributes are only limited to the beings which are in the material world. This Brahman is beyond all of this material world. So it does not have any characteristics. It does not have any shape or form. However, for several reasons of either your leelai or to protect the universe or for many different things, you take different aspects, you take different names that you come as Rama, you come as Narasimha, you come as Varaha, you come with different devis, all these names that you have, which has a beginning and an end, because each of these things we can say, oh, we say Rama is born on this day, Rama departed on this day, but that is only for the context of the understanding of the humans. You take such incarnations which have a name and a big name, birth and an end date and everything, and in that you behave like the humans, which means you have the combination of all of these gunas. It's all just a show, but really in reality you are beyond all of these things. And similarly the forms, right? While you are formless, you don't have any shape or form, you could take a Matsya avataram or a Kurma avataram. In all of that you take different forms. All of that is just only for the purpose of your incarnation. Eventually, when the knowledge comes, then all of this comes to a realization. So here the word avidya is used, right? So in vidya means knowledge about something or wisdom. Now in Sanskrit, when you normally put a, it means the opposite of it. So avidya means like a lack of knowledge. But here the actual definition in typical Sanskrit, you put a, it becomes no knowledge. But here the avidya here is actually referring to not no knowledge. It is like ignorance, because it is like, it's not like you don't have the knowledge, but you are assuming something to be wrong, right? So it's a little bit of an ignorance of that, and we'll come to a little bit of that avidya word little later, so I'll explain it in detail. So this is like a lack of, it's not because there's no information, it is that the information is there, we are not able to experience that it's the same Brahman which is there. So it's a ignorance on our part, not a lack of knowledge. Anyway, so it's because of that you are appearing as different things. So to that, you who is Paridasa Paripurnaya, who's always a state of supreme bliss without any form, shape, name, or any attributes, to that Brahma, to that Vishnu, my namaskarams. Janmato karma nama sputamiha, comma, guna doshadikam vana yasmin, comma, lokanam utaye yaha, comma, swayam anubhajate tani mayanusari, longi. Janmato karma nama sputamiha gunadoshadikam vana yasmin lokanamutaye yah swayam anubhajate tani mayanusari.
Janmatho karma nama sputamiha gunadoshadikam vana yasmin lokanamutaye yaha swayam tani mayanusari. Janmatho karma nama sputamiha gunadoshadikam vana yasmin lokanamutaye yaha swayam tani mayanusari.
जन्मातो कर्म नाम स्फुटमिह गुणदोषादिकं वानयस्मिन् लोकानामूतये यः स्वयमनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी जन्मातो कर्म नाम स्फुटमिह गुणदोषादिकं वानयस्मिन् लोकानामूतये यः स्वयमनुभजते तानि मायानुसारी.
Vibrat rupopi. Cannot break that too much. First bha, second is the second bha. Bibrat shaktira rupopi cha, comma, bahutara rupova bhatyat bhudatma. Adbhudatma, but cannot break that. Bahutara rupova bhatyat bhudatma, comma, tasmai kaivalya dhamne, comma, para rasa paripurnaya Vishnu namaste. Bibhrachaktir rupopi cha bahutara rupo vabhadyadbhudatma tasmai kaivalya dhamne pararasa paripurnaya Vishnu namaste.
Bibhrachaktirupopi cha bahutara rupo viphatyat bhutatma तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररसपरिपूर्णाय विष्णो नमस्ते.
What is the third line? Bahutara Rupova Bhatyat.
Bahutara Rupa. That's together.
Yeah, that S symbol is coming there, right? So Rupova Bhatyat Bhudatma.
The Bahutara Rupa, then there is a gap in my book. Then
Yeah, but then you must have an S symbol there, right? For Avabhatyat Bhudatma.
No, I don't have it. Okay.
Okay, so but what do you have after Rupo?
Then there is a gap. Then there is nothing there. Vipatya Adbhutatma.
Oh, okay. I think they just broke that sandhi of V and A. Okay, okay. So B and A becomes Va. So it's the way it becomes is Bahutara Rupova Bhatyat. So the V and A becomes a Va. So I think that's what they just broken that sandhi there.
Okay.
Rupova Bhatyat Bhutatma.
Viprachaktira Rupopi cha Bahutara Rupo Bahutara Rupo
Rupova.
Bahutara Rupo Bhatyatputatma Tasmai Kaivalyadhamne Pararasa Paripurnaya Vishnu Namaste.
Let me send you the
प्रचक्तिररूपी च बहुतररूपो वभात्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररसपरिपूर्णाय विष्णु नमस्ते बिभ्रच्चक्तिररूपोऽपि च बहुतररूपो वभात्यद्भुतात्मा तस्मै कैवल्यधाम्ने पररसपरिपूर्णाय विष्णु नमस्ते.
Riti, in the WhatsApp group, I just put a message there, a screenshot of that particular line, okay, in Sanskrit. So you can take a look. Stanza 3. No tiryanchanna martyam, na chasuram asuram, na striyam no pumamsam, na dravyam karma jatim, gunamapi sadasatvapi rupamahuhu, shishtam yatsya nishedhe sati, निगमशतैर्लक्षणावृत्तितस्तत् कृच्छ्रेणाभिध्यमानं परमसुखमयं भाति तस्मै नमस्ते. So when we cannot tell what something is, one way of telling is to say what it is not, right? And saying it is not all of these things. So anything I have said, it is not that, it is everything else. So similarly, it says, no tiryanchanna martyam. You are not a bird, you are not an animal. Nacha suram asuram. You are not a god or a demon or a human being. Nastriyam no pumamsam. You don't have any gender. You are not a female or you are not a male. Na dravyam. You are not any substance, some material substance that I can actually hold on to, right? Or you don't have any specific type of species or any attribute. I can't define you as I can't say it's an adjective to this, right? Saying this is this color or this is this shape or this form. I cannot define you in any of those things, right? And I can't say you're existing or non-existing either, because I can't say you're non-existing because of course you are there, but I can't say you're existing because I can't see you or feel you either. So it's one of those things which is very difficult to comprehend, right? So what like the Upanishads have done is they tell what it is not and say that everything else that is there which I have not defined is you. So it's like an implied reference of what it is, right? So that is the only way I can define what a Brahman is, right? And in one of the Upanyasam, the Dushyant, he kind of described very nicely, it is 5 things of, I think, for 4 or 5 things of what a Brahman is. One is, like we discussed in Dasakam 1 or something, we might have talked about it. One is, we are all bound by karma. There's no being who is not bound by karma. But this Brahman is not bound by karma. So you kind of define the 5 things which apply to us and say it is not that, right? So we are all bound by karma. It is not bound by karma. Second, that is called Satyatvam, because it's truth. It's not bound by anything. The second is called Jnanatvam, which is knowledge. So 2 years back, you did not know Narayaneeyam. Now you know Narayaneeyam. 3 years from now, you will know something else. Your knowledge is based on a particular point in time and it changes based on that. But for a Brahman, the knowledge is always there. It's all knowing all the time. That is the Jnanatvam which is there. The third is the Anantatvam. So we are there. I am sitting now in Buffalo Grove at this point in time. So I have a restriction of a space and time to me. But this Brahman is Anantatva, means it's always there everywhere. There's no point when it is not there, and there's no place it is not there either, right? So that is again the Anantatvam, which is there. And the fourth is the Anandatvam, which is like, we know we are all happy at certain points in time. Certain points in times we are not happy. But this is always bliss, state of supreme bliss, which is the Anantatvam. And the Amalatvam is fault, which is no fault, right? So we all have some faults in us. At various points in time, we'll have different faults. So we are a little bit impure in the context of we are not pure. We are not pure sattva. We are bound by passion and ignorance and anger and all of these things. But the Brahman is not that, right? So by defining these 5 things which all of us are and saying the Brahman is none of those things, it kind of, at least that's the only way to describe something which is indescribable, right? So anyway, that's what it is telling. To that you Bhati tasmai namaste, my namaskarams to you. No tiryanchanna martyam, comma, nacha suram asuram, comma, na striyam no pumamsam, comma, na dravyam karma jatim, comma, gunamapi sadasat vapite rupamahuhu. So just do one time the next 2 stanzas. No tiryanchanna martyam, na chasuram asuram, na striyam no pumamsam, na dravyam karma jatim, gunamapi sadasat vapite rupamahuhu.
No tiryansam na martyam, na cha suram na striyam no pumamsam, na dravyam karma jatim, gunamapi sadasadvapite rupamahuhu.
No tiryancham na martyam, na cha suram na striyam no pumamsam, na dravyam karma jatim, gunamapi sadasattvapite rupamahuhu.
Shishtam yat syan nishedhe sati, short e, comma, nigama shatair lakshana vrittitas tat, comma, krichrena vedyamanam, comma, parama sukhamayam bhati tasmai namaste. Shishtam yatsya nishedhe sati nigama shatair lakshana vrittitas tat krichrena vedyamanam parama sukhamayam bhati tasmai namaste.
Sistam yat syanishethe sati Nikamashatir lakshana vrittitastata krichrena vedyamanam paramasukhamayam bhati tasmai namaste.
Shishtam yatsyannishethe sati nigamashatairlakshana-vrittitastat krishnena vedyamanam paramasukhamayam bhati tasmai namaste.
4th line, first word, krichrena vedyamanam.
Kriche, yeah, okay.
Okay, each and chre, yeah.
Krichrena.
Yeah.
Okay.
Answer 4. Mayayam bimbitam.
அந்த தமிழ்ல வந்து கிருச் சரேனான்னு இருக்கு. So
Chre. The second cha with the ra at the bottom. Chrena vedyamanam.
oh, okay.
Okay, krichrena. That's a 4. Mayayam bimbitastvam srijasi mahadahankara tanmatra bhedaihi bhuta gramendriyadhyairapi sakala jagat swapna sankalpa kalpam bhuya samhritya sarvam kamatha iva padhan yatmana kala shaktya gambhire jayamane tamasi vitimiro bhasi tasmai namaste. Little bit going back to our Dasakam 5, which you may not all remember, but talks about how from the Brahman comes the various ingredients like the Mahat, which is the supreme consciousness, the Ahankaram, the Tanmatram, the Panchabhutam, and all of these which are coming. So he says all of this Indriyangal, Karmendriyangal, Jnanendriyangal, all of this has come from you. It's all you, right? And it talks about if I'm a dreamer, then everything that I'm dreaming is existing only because I am dreaming. So it is in existence for me because I am dreaming about it. If I don't have the will to dream something, or if I decide some reason, if I decide not to dream, none of the imagination that came in my dream is going to exist, right? So similarly, it says, oh Brahman, it is you, it is like a dream for you, Brahman, which is you have a will to create and you are so because of which it exists. If you do not want to create, then none of this is going to exist, right? So it's all existing only because you want this to exist. And similarly, at the very end of it, like it's like a tortoise, it has its feet, but it sometimes for protection, it pulls its feet under the shell. Similarly, at the appropriate time when it comes, you pull all of this universe into you, and nothing is in existence except you. And you are the only thing which is existing, and there is absolutely nothingness, like we've seen before. So, and you remain before, during, and after, and beyond all of these things. So, to that, you, my namaskarams. Mayayam bimbitastvam, srijasi mahadahankara tanmatra bhedaihi. Put a visarga, bhedaihi. Next line, on top of that bhu, there is a ir that will go away. Bhuta gramendriyadhyairapi. Cannot break that word. Bhuta grama indriya adhyairapi. So, Bhuta gramendriyadhyairapi, sakala jagat swapna sankalpa kalpam. Mayayam bimbitastvam srijasi mahadahankara tanmatra bhedaihi bhutagramendriyadhyerapi sakala jagat swapna sankalpa kalpam.
Mayayam bimbitastvam srijasi mahadahangara tanmatra bhedaihi bhutagramendriyadhyerapi sakala jagat swapna sankalpa kalpam.
मायायां बिम्बितस्त्वं सृजसि महदहङ्कारतन्मात्रभेदैः भूतग्रामेन्द्रियाद्यैरपि सकलजगत्स्वप्नसङ्कल्पकल्पम्
Bhuyaha, put is bhuyas samhritya sarvam, kamatha iva padanyatmana kala shaktya. Kamatha referring to the tortoise here. Kala shaktya, gambire jayamane tamasi vitimiro, bhasi tasmai namaste. Bhuyas samhritya sarvam kamatha iva padanyatmana kala shaktya. Gambhire jayamane tamasi vitimiro bhasi tasmai namaste.
Bhuyas samhritya sarvam kamatha iva padanyatmana kala shaktya gambhire jayamane tamasi vitimiro bhasi tasmai namaste.
भूयः संहृत्य सर्वं कमठ इव पदान्यात्मना कालशक्त्या गम्भीरे जायमाने तमसि वितिमिरो भासि तस्मै नमस्ते.
Let's switch halfway. Malini can be student and Viji can be student. Starts up, right? Shabdha brahmeti karmetyanuriti bhagavan kala ityalapanti twamekam vishwahetum sakalamayataya sarvata kalpyamanam vedantairyattu geetam purusha parachidatmabhidam tattu tattvam preksha matrena moola prakriti vikriti krit Krishna tasmai namaste. Again, continuing that Brahman, all these stanzas are going to be describing the Brahman in various different forms. It says, you are, like we discussed sometime in one of this earlier, I think Dasakam 95 or something we're discussing. It is there in every single paramanu, which is the lowest indivisible particle that is there. So you are there in every single thing. There's nothing. And we saw in the Dasakam, it says, Vastu Sarvam Tvameva, right? You are there in every single thing, and there's not a single thing that you are not in. Right, that was the description when Bhattacharya is talking about you are the ahang, aksharana makaraha taro mantreshu. In that thing was describing this. Similarly, it says you are there in every single thing that is there. There's nothing that you are not there at all. And you have different names that in the Vedas they call you. They call you as Purusha in some cases. They call you the supreme consciousness in some cases. They call you the Paramatma in some cases. So all of these are different names to describe you, but at the end of the day, or Brahman in some cases, but all of this is the same entity that they are all referring to, something which is there as the core particle in every single thing that is there. And it is and again, it talks a little bit of the same thing. It's only because of your will and your Maya, you start creating all these various shapes and forms and everything. Moola Prakriti, like we said, the Prakriti, which is this root from which everything comes, that is triggered by you, by that Brahman, and that then causes everything else to happen. Shabda Brahmeti. Shabda Brahm here is referring to the word, Om, right? So it says you are also the primordial sound which is there, and every single, that's what essentially coming saying everything is you. Shabda Brahmeti Karmetyanuriti, one word, Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan, Kala Ityalapanti Tvamekam Vishwahetum, Sakala Mayataya Sarvata Kalpyamanam. Shabda Brahmeti Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalapanti Tvamekam Vishwahetum Sakalamayataya Sarvata Kalpyamanam.
Shabda Brahmeti Karmetyanuriti Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalapanti Tvamekam Vishwahetum Sakalamayadaya Sarvada Kalpyamanam. Shabda Brahmeti Karmetyanuriti Bhagavan Kala Ityalapanti Tvamekam Vishwahetum Sakalamayadaya Sarvata Kalpyamanam.
Second line, after that Vishwahetum, comma iruknanga.
Oh, Ishwaya. Oh, angeya.
After Vishwahetum.
அப்புறம் போட்டிருக்கேன்.
It's after Vishwahetum.
Okay.
शब्दब्रह्मेति कर्मेत्यनुरिति भगवन् कालैत्यालपन्ति त्वामेकं विश्वहेतुं सकलमयतया सर्वदा कल्प्यमानम् शब्दब्रह्मेति कर्मेत्यनुरिति भगवन् कालैत्यालपन्ति त्वामेकं विश्वहेतुं सकलमयतया सर्वदा कल्प्यमानम्.
The Sakala Mayataya, there's no comma, but it's okay if you paused for saying it, but there's no comma there, okay? Second line. Vedantair yattu geetam, comma, Purusha para chidatmabhidam tattu tattvam, comma, Prekshamatrena Moola Prakriti Vikriti Krit, comma, Krishna Tasmai Namaste. Vedantair Geetam Purusha Parachidatmabhidam Tattu Tattvam Prekshamatrena Moola Prakriti Vikriti Krit, Krishna Tasmai Namaste.
Vedantairiyattu Geetam Purusha Parachidatmapitam Tattu Tattvam. Correct சொல்றேனா? Chidatmapitam. Okay.
Yeah.
Tattu Tattvam Prekshamatrena Moola Prakriti Vikriti Krit, Krishna Tasmai Namaste. Vedantairiyattu Geetam Purusha Parasidatmapitam Tattu Tattvam Prekshamatrena Moola Prakriti Vikriti Krit, Krishna Tasmai Namaste.
वेदान्तैर्यत्तु गीतं पुरुषपरचितात्मापितं तत्तु तत्त्वं प्रेक्षामात्रेण मूलप्रकृतिविकृतिकृत् कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते वेदान्तैर्यत्तु गीतं यत्तात्मापितं तत्तु तत्त्वं प्रेक्ष्यामात्रेण मूलप्रकृतिविकृतिकृत् कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
Stanza 6. Satvena sattaya va na cha khalu sadasattvena nirvachya rupa dhatte yasava vidya guna phani mativat vishwadrishyabhasam vidyatam saiva yata shruti vachanalavaihi यत्कृपास्यन्धलाभे संसारारण्य सद्यस्त्रुटन परशुतामेति तस्मै नमस्ते. So here, so if all of that about Brahman is there, is true, but we still see things. I see you, you see me, you see the house around you. All of this we see as different objects, right? So in Vedanta, they say the root cause of this is the word avidya, like we were discussing earlier. So like it says this avidya, which like we said, you cannot say it is lack of knowledge. It is ignorance of what is there, right? And when the avidya goes away, and they give a very nice example. So you're walking in a dim lit street and you see a rope lying there, right? Now you might interpret that rope because there's no light properly. You might say the rope is a snake. So you get worried about that snake and you get confused about it and you start reacting to what you would do when the snake is there, which is you might run away or you might go around it or you might try to do something. Now, when the light is shown on that, now you know the snake is not there, it is a rope, right? So you cannot say the snake did not exist because when the light was less, you really thought it was a snake, right? So at that point for you, a snake existed, but really, in reality, it was no snake. But there was something else though. The rope is still there. So when the light came, you saw that it is a rope. Right? So the rope has always been in existence. It is just that you thought of the rope to be a snake. Right? So that is the exact example they're saying of the Brahman is the Brahman is always existing in every single thing. We keep thinking of different objects like a laptop or a different person or a building or a plant or an animal. We are thinking all of that is different and we truly believe that because that's what it appears to our eyes. But when the knowledge comes, which is like light, it will remove that fact that at the end of the day, it is all that same Brahman. I did not have the knowledge to realize that it is appearing to me like that, or I'm feeling it to be a different object, but in reality, it is the same Brahman which is there in everything. So that is that knowledge which comes, and when that knowledge comes, that avidya goes away, which is the ignorance goes away of us thinking of it as being something else. That is the example, they give. So anyway, so he says, with your grace, O Guru Arapa, samsararanya sadhyas, this illusion that I'm stuck into thinking that everything is different and unique and running my entire life. I want you to cut it off, like with an axe, like you cut off a tree or a creeper, you come and cut off this illusion that I'm actually having so that I can see you in everything else. Satvena sattayava, na cha khalu sadasatvena. So double it there. Sadasatvena nirvachya rupa, datte yasava vidya, guna phani mati vad vishwa drishyava bhasam. Satvena sattayava na cha khalu sadasattvena nirvachya rupa dhatte yasava vidya guna phani mati vad vishwadrishyava bhasam.
Satvena sattaya na cha kalu sadasattvena nirvashya rupa datteya sa vavidya guna pani madivat vishwadrishyava basama.
Basam.
Basamma. Inga basama போட்டிருக்கு தமிழ்ல.
Basam.
Basam. Satvena sattayava na cha kalu sadasattavena nirvashya rupa datteva yasava vidya guna pani madivat vishwadrishyava basam.
सत्त्वेन सत्तया वा न च खलु सदसत्त्वेन निर्वाच्य रूपा तत्ते या सावविद्या विश्वदृश्यावभासम्
Punapanimathivat.
गुणपणिमदिवत् ओके
Hmm.
सद्वेन सद्दया वा न च खलु सदसद्वेन निर्वाच्य रूपा तत्ते या सावविद्या गुणपणिमदिवत् विश्वदृश्यावभासम्
Vidhyatvam saiva yata shruti vachana lavaihi. Put a visarga comma. Lavaihi. Next line on top of the ya, if you have a ir, that will go away. Yat kripasyanda labhe, comma. Samsara aranya, the forest of samsararanya, sadyas trutana parashutameti tasmai namaste. Parashu is the axe. So with the axe, you cut that, forest.
So எங்க கமா சம்சாரன்
Fourth line, there's no comma. It's the whole line together.
ஓகே
विद्यात्वं सैव याता श्रुतिवचनलवैः यत्कृपास्यन्दलाभे संसारारण्यसद्यस्तृटनपरशुतामेति तस्मै नमस्ते.
विद्यात्वं सैव यादा श्रुतिवसनलवैः यत्कृपास्यन्दलाभे संसारण्यसत्यस्तृडनः परशुतामेति तस्मै नमस्ते.
Fourth line, first word, संसारारण्य.
संसारारण्यसद्यस्तृडनः परशुतामेति तस्मै नमस्ते. विद्यात्वं सैव यादा श्रुतिवचनलवैः यत्कृपास्यन्दलाभे संसारारण्यसद्यस्तृडनः परशुतामेति तस्मै नमस्ते.
विद्यात्वं सैव याता श्रुतिवचनलवैः यत्कृपा स्यन्दलाभे संसारारण्य सत्यस्तृडन परसुतामेति तस्मै नमस्ते. विद्यात्वं सैव यादा श्रुतिवचनलवैः यत्कृपा स्यन्दलाभे संसारारण्य सत्यस्तृडन परसुदामेति तस्मै नमस्ते.
भूषा सुस्वर्णवध्वा जगति घटशरावादिके मृत्तिकावत् तत्त्वे सञ्चिन्त्यमाने स्फुरति तदधुनाप्यद्वितीयं वपुस्ते स्वप्नद्रष्टुप्रबोधे तिमिरलयविधौ जीर्णरज्जोश्च यद्वत् विद्यालाभे तथैव स्फुटमपि विकसेत् कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते. Again, continuing that explanation of making us understand what this is, right? Just like we gave the rope and the snake example. Similarly, it says, you walk into Kalyan Jewelers, you see all this gold jewelry on display. Each of the display item looks so different, right? Some are small, some are big, some are thick, some are light. It all has unique designs, different prices. But at the end of the day, when you melt all of it, if it is pure gold, you will get gold. That is, gold is the inherent thing which is common across all of these things, right? And similarly, when you look at all the different earth pot designs, when you break all of those pots, at the end of the day, what remains is clay. But for us, when we look at it, it has different designs, it has different colors, and it has different things, and it all looks different for us. But a person who truly knows that at the end of the day, what is in there is just clay in the pot and just gold, which is there in all of the jewels, right? Similarly, he says that's exactly the definition of the thing. And for us, and it's a little bit complicated topic to think about how your soul is viewing this as an experience, but that's a long topic for some other day. But talks about, and you'll come to the realization when your soul leaves your body. Then you'll realize that my soul was just experiencing everything that was happening, and it's what is actually happening is not what the soul is going through. It's just an observer, and it's only behind the scenes, it's looking at what's happening. Anyway, similarly, it says, just like how when you wake up from a dream, you realize that all that was just a dream, but it was real in the dream. Similarly, when you wake up, which is when you die, your soul realizes that, okay, I was just going through an experience in this human body to experience certain things, but I am truly not affected by any of it, but I experienced every single aspect of it. How, like in a dream, you might be scared, you might be happy, you might be disturbed, but you did not get affected by it in reality, right? You did not get hurt physically, you did not get hurt mentally, but you experienced different emotions, right? Which is kind of what he's saying. So that is the true nature of that soul which is there. And so then Brahman is controlling all that, but it looks different, right? So anyway, Krishna Tasmai Namaste, to that Krishna, which is the Brahman behind it, the Brahman, Namaskarams. Bhushasu Swarna Vadva, comma, Jagati Ghata Sharavadike Mrittikavat, put a it at the end of that line, Mrittikavat. Next line will have a it, that will go away. Tattve Sanchinthyamane, comma, Spurati. The next word, it's easy to break it as Tat Adhunapyadvitiyam, or if you want to say it together as Tadadunapyadvitiyam, that's also fine. Tat Adhunapyadvitiyam Vapuste. Bhusha Suswarna Vadva Jagati Ghatashara Vadike Mrittikavate Tatve Sanchinthyamane Spurati Tadadunapyadvitiyam Vapuste.
ऊषासु स्वर्णवद्वा जगति घटश्चरावादिके मृत्तिकावत् तत्त्वे सञ्चिन्त्यमाने स्फुरति तदनुनाप्यद्वितीयं वपुस्ते. भूषासु स्वर्णवद्वा जगति घटशरावादिके मृत्तिकावत् तत्त्वे सञ्चिन्त्यमाने स्फुरति तदधुनाप्यद्वितीयं वपुस्ते.
Rajesh ji,
Yeah.
if we split the word tadat anvardadu anush.
And the word, if you split it, it will be Spurati Tat Adhunapyadvitiyam. That's the only place you can split it.
Tat aduna. Okay.
Yeah, Adhunapyadvitiyam, because it's Adhunapi Advitiyam, but you cannot separate it that way. The Pya will come there. So Tat Adhunapyadvitiyam.
Thank you.
भूषासु स्वर्णवद्या जगति कडचरावादिके मृत्तिकावत् तद्वे सञ्चित्यमाने स्फुरति तदधुनाप्यद्वितीयं वपुस्ते. भूषासु स्वर्णवद्या
Vadva. Swarna Vadva.
Oh, स्वर्णवद्वा, ओके जी. भूषासु स्वर्णवद्वा जगति कडचरावदिके मृत्तिकावत् तद्वे सञ्चिद्यमाने स्फुरति तदधुनाप्यद्वितीयं वपुस्ते.
Which in the first line, Gatashara Vadike.
Gadachara-vadike. Okay.
Swapna Drashtuhu, put a F, Swapna Drashtuf Prabhode, comma, Timira Laya Vidhau Jirna Rajjoscha Yadvat, put a it and comma, Yadvat, comma. Next line, you'll have a Dvi in the next line, that will become a V. Vidyalabhe Tataiva, comma, Sputamapi Vikaset Krishna Tasmai Namaste. Swapna Drashtuf Prabodhe Timiralaya Vidhau Jirna Rajjoscha Yadvate Vidya Labhe Tathaiva Sputamapi Vikaset Krishna Tasmai Namaste.
स्वप्नद्रष्टुः प्रबोधे तिमिरलयविधौ जीर्णरज्जोश्च यद्वत् विद्यालापे तदैव स्फुटमपि विकसेत् कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते स्वप्नदृष्टुः प्रबोधे तिमिरलयविधौ जीर्णरज्जोश्च यद्वत् विद्यालापे तथैव स्फुटमपि विकसेत् कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते
स्वप्नद्रष्टुः प्रबोधे तिमिरलयविधौ जीर्णरज्जोश्च यद्वत् विद्यालाभे तदैव स्फुटमपि विगसेत् कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
Fourth line after tathaiva comma is there.
Okay. स्वप्नद्रष्टुः प्रबोधे तिमिरलयविधौ जीर्णरज्जोश्च यद्वत् विद्यालाभे तदैव स्फुटमपि विगसेत् कृष्ण तस्मै नमस्ते.
यद्भीत्योदेति सूर्यो दहति च दहनो वाति वायुस्तथान्ये यद्भीताः पद्मजाध्याः पुनरुचितबलीनाहरन्तेऽनुकालं येनैवारोपिताः प्राङ् निजपदमपि ते च्यावितारश्च पश्चात् तस्मै विश्वं नियन्त्रे वयमपि भवते कृष्ण कुर्मः प्रणामम्. Describing that, the sun is able to burn and give out light and energy because of you. The wind, the Vayu is able to blow and create sensations and feelings, all of that because of you. Yadbhita Padmajadyaha, Brahma is able to come and create other beings and all of that because of you at the appropriate time. So each of them are at the appropriate place in the universe doing their respective functions only because you wished for them to be there to do it. It's only because of you at the end of the day all this is happening, and it is all this eventually at the end of the day cha vitarascha paschat, at the later on all of this also come back to you. They are also non-existent because of you. So you literally are the Vishwam Niyantri. You are the one who controls the entire universe and every single thing that is actually happening in there. So to that Krishna, to that Brahman, my namaskarams. Yad bhityodeti suryo, comma, dahati cha dahano, comma, Bhati vayustatanye, comma. So we're just pausing there just so that each of that is one of the functions. So Bhati vayustatanye, comma. Yad bhitaha, put a F, yad bhitah padmajadhyaha, comma. Punaruchita balinaharantenu kalam. You can break it as balin aharantenu kalam if you want, but the rest of the word will come together as one word. यद्भीत्योदेति सूर्यो दहति च दहनो वाति वायुस्तथान्ये यद्भीताः पद्मजाध्याः पुनरुचितबलीनाहरन्तेऽनुकालम्.
यद्भीत्योदेति सूर्यो दहति च दहनो वादिवायुस्तदान्ये यद्भीताः पद्मजात्याः पुनरुचितबलीनाहरन्तेऽनुकालम्. हरन्तेऽनुकालम्. यद्भीत्योदेति सूर्यो दहसि तदहनो वायुस्तदान्ये यद्भीताः पद्मजाद्याः पुनरुचितबलीनान् हरन्तेऽनुकालम्.
Quick question, Rajeshji. Is it Dahanosh? Ila Dahano Dana?
Dahano, just Dahano.
No-ish, okay.
यत्पीत्योदेति सूर्यो दहति च दहनो वादिवायुस्तदान्ये यत्पीदाः पद्मजात्याः पुनरुचितबलीनाहरन्तेऽनुकालम्. यत्पीत्योदेति सूर्यो दहति च दहनो वादिवायुस्तदान्ये यत्पीताः पद्मजात्याः पुनरुचितबलिना हरन्तेऽनुकालम्
येनैवारोपिताः comma prang ing sound prang nija padamapite comma च्या वितारश्च पश्चात् comma तस्मै विश्वं नियन्त्रे comma वयमपि भवते कृष्ण कुर्मः पुट f कुर्मः प्रणामम् येनैवारोपिताः प्राङ् निजपदमपि ते च्या पश्चात् तस्मै विश्वं नियन्त्रे वयमपि भवते कृष्ण कुर्मः प्रणामम्
येनैवारोपिताः प्राङ् निजपदमपि ते विदारश्च पश्चात् तस्मै विश्वं नियन्त्रे वयमपि भवते कृष्ण कुर्मः प्रणामम् येनैवारोपिताः प्राङ् निजपदमपि ते विदारश्च पश्चात् तस्मै विश्वं नियन्त्रे वयमपि भवते कृष्ण कुर्मः प्रणामम्
येनैवारोपिताः प्राङ् निजपदमपि ते च्याविदारच्च पश्चात् तस्मै विश्वं नियन्त्रे वयमपि भवते कृष्ण कुर्मः प्रणामम् येनैवारोपिताः प्राङ् निजपदमपि ते च्याविदारश्च पश्चात् तस्मै विश्वं नियन्त्रे वयमपि भवते कृष्ण कुर्मः प्रणामम्
त्रैलोक्यं भावयन्तं त्रिगुणमयमिदं त्र्यक्षरस्यैकवाच्यं त्रीशानाम् ऐक्यरूपं त्रिभिरपि निगमैः गीयमानस्वरूपं तिस्रोऽवस्थाभिदन्तं त्रियुगजनिजुषं त्रिक्रमाक्रान्तविश्वं त्रैकाल्ये भेदहीनं त्रिभिरहमनिशं योगभेदैर्भजे त्वाम्. Lot of three and thra coming here because that's the intent there. He's saying that, in this, everything is three here. So he's saying in this world, you manifest, while you are pure sattva guna, you manifest various things in three gunas, sattva guna, rajas, and tamas, some combination of all of that. Then Traksharas Eka Vachyam. So you are the meaning behind the word which is made up of the three letters. So when you say Om, it's A, U, and M. So the three letters which are there, you are the root behind all of those. And the Trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, you Brahman, you are the one behind all of that. Then it's your praise that the three Vedas, because Atharvana Veda is slightly different, but the three other Rig, Yajur, Sama Veda are also praising you. The three Vedas praise you. Then you are the three states that we are in. So we sleep, we wake up, we are in a dream state. So you are also the pure consciousness who's across all of those three states as well. You have incarnated in the three yugas so far, because Kali Yuga, which is writing it early in the Kali Yuga. So you incarnated in all the three yugas. Then Trikrama Akranta Visham, you took the Trivikrama Avataram, wherein 3 steps you covered the entire universe. Then you are also the 3 periods of time, the past, the present, and the future. You remain consistent, all of that. So to that I will worship you through the 3 margams of Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Karma Yoga. Right? So that is the thing. Essentially, the 3 or tra is coming in everything. Okay, I'm going to do one time, Malini, next to 3 stanzas. Trailokyam bhavayantam trigunamayamidham, comma, Triaksharasyeika vachyam, comma, Trishanam aikya rupam, Tribhirapi nigamaihi, put a visarga, comma. Next on Giyamana, the ear will go away. Giyamana swarupam.
Can you just repeat that part? That third one. Trishana Maikya Rupam.
Trishanam aikya rupam.
Amma vanga.
Continuous. Tribhirapi nigamaihi then comma, Giyamana Swarupam.
Oh, okay.
Trailokyam bhavayantam trigunamayamidham त्र्यक्षरस्यैकवाच्यं त्रीशानामैक्यरूपं त्रिभिरपि निगमैः गीयमानस्वरूपम्.
त्रैलोक्यं भावयन्तं त्रिगुणमयमिदं त्रैक्षरस्यैक्यवास्यं त्रिसानामैक्यरूपं त्रिभिरपि निगमैर्गीयमानस्वरूपं
Nigamaihi.
निगमैः
Yeah. And then the first,
huh?
go ahead.
ஒரு தடவை தானே?
But in the first line, last word, Triaksharasyaikavach.
त्रैक्षरस्यैक्यवास्यं
त्रैलोक्यं भावयन्तं त्रिगुणमयमितं त्र्यक्षरस्यैकवाक्यं त्रीक्षाणामैक्यरूपं त्रिभिरभिनिगमैः गीयमानस्वरूपम्.
Tisro vasta vidantam triyuga jani jusham, comma, trikramakranta vishwam. One word. Trikram, you can make it the ma if you want. Trikramakranta vishwam, comma, Traikalye bhedahinam tribirahamanisham, comma, yoga bhedair bhaje tvam. Tisro vastabidantam triyugajanijusham trikramakranta vishwam traikalye bhedahinam tribirahamanisham yoga bhedair bhaje tvam.
அந்த த்ரிக்யூக நிஜுஷம் அங்கேயும் கமாவா?
Yeah, அது முடிச்சுதான் comma. There's only one comma in the third line after triyuga janijusham, comma, and then end of that line, comma.
ஓகே, தேங்க்ஸ்.
तिस्रो वस्ताविधन्तं त्रियुगजनिजुषं त्रिक्रमाक्रान्तविश्वं எங்க காமா கரெக்ட்டா?
அதான் அந்த அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன் த்ரியுக ஜனிஜுஷம் முடிஞ்சு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காமா.
காமா, ஓகே.
End of that line second comma.
त्रिक्रमाक्रान्तविश्वं त्रिकाले भेदहीनं
இல்ல நீங்க say it again, right? The end of the line there is a comma.
எங்க
Trikramakranta vishwam.
Okay, I put it in the wrong place. Triyugajanijusham trikramakrantavishwam traikale bedahinam tripuramanisham yoga bedairbaje tvam. Sorry.
Line la tribiraham anisham.
Tribirahamanisham தானே?
Tribiraham anisham.
Tribirahamanisham yoga bedairbaje tvam.
तिस्रो वस्ताविदन्तं त्रियुगजनिजुषं त्रिक्रमाक्रान्तविश्वं त्रैकाल्ये पेदहीनं त्रिभिरहमनिशं योगपेदैर्भजे त्वाम्.
Answer 10. We'll rush through this. I'll say the meaning later for this. Satyam Shuddham Vibuddham Jayati Tava Vapuhu. Put a visarga comma Vapuhu. Then after Nitya Muktam there is a ir that will go away. Nitya Muktam Niriham, comma, Nirdvandvam Nirvikaram, comma, Nikhila Guna Gana Vyanjanadhara Bhutam. Satyam Shuddham Vibuddham Jayati Tava Vapuhu Nityamuktam Niriham Nirdvandvam Nirvikaram Nikhila Gunagana Vyanjanadhara Bhutam.
Satyam Shuddham Vibuddham Jayati Tava Vapuhu Nityamuktam Niriham Nirdvandvam Nirvikaram Nikhila Gunagana Vyanjanadhara Bhutam.
सत्यं शुद्धं विबुद्धं जयति तव वपुः नित्यमुक्तं निरीहं निर्द्वन्द्वं निर्विकारं निखिलगुणगणव्यञ्जनाधारभूतम्.
Second line la after nirvikaram, there's a comma there. Nirdvandvam nirvikaram, comma.
Okay.
Okay. Nirmoolam nirmalam, comma. Tan niravadi mahimollasi nirlinamantaha. Put a visarga comma there. Nirlinamantaha, comma. Nis sanganam. So in the nis, the next line, fourth line, first word is the ir that will go away. Nis sanganam muninam, comma. Nirupama paramananda sandra prakasham. Nirmoolam nirmalam tan niravadi mahimollasi nirlinamantaha nissanganam muninam nirupama paramananda sandra prakasham.
निर्मूलं निर्मलं तन्निरवधि महिमोल्लासि निर्लीनमन्तः निस्सङ्गामां सङ्गानां मुनीनां निरुपमपरमानन्दसान्द्रप्रकाशम्.
निर्मूलं निर्मलं तन्निरवधि महिमोल्लासि निर्लीनमन्तः निस्सङ्गानां मुनीनां निरुपमपरमानन्द सान्द्रप्रकाशम्.
And the muninam, the fourth line, the nissanganam muninam, comma. Okay, after that.
Okay.
Durvaram dwadasharam, comma. Trishata parimilat shashti parvabhivitam, comma. Sambhramyat krooravegam, comma. Kshanamanu jagadachidya sandhavamanam. Durvaram dwadasharam trishata parimilat shashti parvabhivitam sambhramyat krooravegam kshanamanu jagadachidya sandhavamanam.
दुर्वारं द्वादशारं त्रिशतपरिमिलषष्टिपर्वाभिवीदं सम्भ्राम्यत् क्रूरवेगं क्षणमनुजगदाचित्य सन्दावमानम्.
दुर्वारं द्वादचारं त्रिच्छदपरिमिलषष्टिपर्वाभिवीदं सम्प्राम्यत् क्रूरवेगं क्षणमनुजगदाच्छिद्य सन्दावमानम्.
Chakram te kalarupam, comma. Vyatayatu natu mam tvat padaikavalampham, comma. Vishno karunya sindho, comma. Pavanapurapate, comma. Pahi sarvamayoghat. Chakram te kalarupam vyatayatu natu mam tvatpadaikavalampham Vishno karunya sindho pavanapurapate pahi sarvamayoghat.
चक्रं ते कालरूपं व्यदतु नतु मां त्वत्पदैकावलम्बं विष्णो कारुण्यसिन्धो पवनपुरपते पाहि सर्वामयौघात्.
Third line la vyatayatu.
व्यथयतु नतु मां. Okay.
चक्रं ते कालरूपं व्यतयतु नतु मां त्वत्पदैकावलम्बं विष्णो कारुण्यसिन्धो पवनपुरपदे पाहि सर्वामयौघात्.
Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Just quickly say the meaning of this. This is kind of saying that, at the end of the day, the time which we know, which, we measure it as, like 12 months, 30 days, approximately 360 days a year, is like a wheel. It's like a wheel which has got all those spokes, right? It's got 12 spokes representing the 12 months and 12 months of the year. and it's cutting through the universe, which means time doesn't stop. The time is just moving forward, right? And as it's moving forward, things are changing. I know we are actually getting more problems, we are having different things and it's changing everything along the path, because as time goes on, things are changing, right? So this is saying this time is unavoidable for us, right? We could say, I am not yet ready to pursue something, but time is not going to wait for anybody, right? So here Bhattaripad is saying this time, which is very unrelentless on people, it is just going to keep going forward. And one day our end is going to come. That is also fixed, right? So he says, when this is cutting through it, I need you to protect me, because what you have to protect me is to make sure I don't fall prey to the time. And what that means is I don't let time pass off with me doing inaction towards anything, right? So please bless me so that as time is going at such a rapid pace, I am not wasting it and I'm spending time towards you. And then you bless me so that I don't waste my time towards it. That's how he ends this chapter, Dasakam, right? Saying that please don't let me go this to waste and protect me from this time. And protect me from time means make me use time properly, right? Bhavana Purapati Guruvayurappa, please eradicate all my ailments. Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Sanhanandabodhatmakamanupamitam kaladeshavadebhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarurupurushartatmakam brahmatattvam tattavad bhati sakshat gurupavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you everyone. See you all next week, next Saturday. Come early, 9:30, 9:45, whatever is okay, so we can start prompt at 10 o'clock. Malini, you have a chance.
You don't think we need a class on Thursday to finish 99?
We do 99 and 100 next Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we'll all be there, you'll all be chanting, so we don't have to go through two people repeating.
Got it.
We'll be able to cut down the time. So I feel like in 2.5 hours, we'll do a review of 98, and then we'll be able to learn 99 and 100 also in the 2.5 hours.
Okay, thank you.
So
There
Malini,
won't be a
you should have a
pub
chance.
quiz, right?
What is it, Dimlaji?
There won't be a pub quiz for us, like
No,
a test.
unless you want one, no.
No, we don't.
No, we'll chant it. We'll chant 98 together. No, maybe even 97 and 98. We'll just chant together, and then we'll learn 99 and 100.
Okay.
ராஜேஷ்ஜி, என்னோட புக்ல கடைசி இது நாராயணிய ஆரத்தி அண்ட் க்ஷமா பிரார்த்தனா, அதுவும் படிப்புமா?
Kshama Prarthana, generally we don't, because the last stanza of Narayaniyam itself is a Kshama Prarthana.
Okay.
So there's no separate Kshama Prarthana. But yeah, there's a Narayaniyam Aarti. I'll send that, this thing, and it's not that complicated. So I won't teach it necessarily, but we'll just say it, you can learn it very easily.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Malini, mute irkel.
Okay, நான் உங்களை கூப்பிடுறேன் நானு.
Yeah.
I will talk to you. Okay,
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.